the opposition legislative agenda, I went to him and said, OJ, I have a program to launch for the opposition. He said, what? He laughed about it. For the opposition, and you want me to come? I said, well, come on, you are the House Speaker, you have no choice. Then I was like, really, you have me? I have no choice, I'm your Speaker. Trust OJ, he came and was the chief guest at the launch of the opposition legislative agenda. That was OJ for you. He spoke passionately and said, look, I have not seen this before. I've been in this house for the opposition to have a roadmap clearly articulated, indicating where you want to go. It's indeed a fresh start. I'm excited. That was him. He had a big view of Uganda. And nobody should stand here, whichever misgivings they have about anyone, to misrepresent using OJ's funeral the rest of the citizenry. He never was that. We must represent him the way he was. That was him. I was lucky. I spoke to him when he was in America. We spoke for about 5 minutes on the phone. And he told me, my brother, just pray for me. I'm still weak. But I know all will be well. I told him, oh, please don't disappoint. You're a strong man. Then he laughed about it on the phone. He said, you're a strong man. You really have to pull through. We need you back immediately. We spoke, and unfortunately, that was the last we did speak about his life. When he went to hospital initially, immediately after his election, on his return, we had a long chat, the two of us, in his office. His office just a top mine, so it's just a few minutes up, and told me, my brother, I'm a lucky man. I'm back, and we're going to work. I said, yes, we're going to work. But I told him, please, but find time to rest and recapitulate, because this 7th Parliament is a house like no other. It has a lot of young people full of energy, but they need to be guided. Please get back fast and we get business running. Of course, God's ways are not our ways. And when he suffered eventually and fell sick, we actually thought, oh, you'll be back and get business running. We shall dearly miss him. If God gives me life and fortitude, I'll have to travel and whisper in the ears of the old man, OJ's dad. No man should, no parent should live to reach the grave of their sons. It's a very, very big loss. And I'd like to extend my very deep sympathies to the family, the parents, for this huge loss. OJ's children, count yourself lucky. You know, parents teach us differently. Our parents are moving blackboards. And your father, you had a moving chart, digital and manual in all forms. And if you took time to observe and learn his demeanor, his views about life, except for the little one that did not have occasion to closely follow their father and understand him, I have no doubt. In fact, the general spoke passionately about the prospects of OJs in this land. This country has no deficit of able persons, and OJ was one of them. Why do people think that it's them and no one? He was just one of them. And I can imagine there are so many other citizens, other able Ugandans, well-trained, cultured Ugandans that can really steer this country and get us out of this abyss of thinking. There's not Mathias, then no one. That should not be the Uganda we need to be a part of. We really missed the kind of debate he had promised the House. And every time he came to the House, said, that debate is coming. I like everyone to come here and spew whatever they want to spew, whatever nonsense they want to spew. But finally, to speak about the promise of Uganda. Because we only have one country called Uganda. Our forebearers had the dream of a Uganda. This year, we shall make 60 years as an independent nation state. If you're 60, you're an old man, an old woman. The reason in Uganda, by law, you retire at 60. Can we say we have matured at 60? Did we stand? Are we a stunted country at 60? Don't we need introspection as people charged with a duty to give this fair land direction? You know, between me and these honorable colleagues of mine, we do occupy this space, the space of leaders. But this space is not eternal. This space is not ordained. This space is rented. It belongs to citizens. The reason we have a duty in occupation this non-eternal space of leadership, to use it purposefully. OJ lived a life of purpose, and he pursued it passionately. And he made his views known to all and sundry. You could not mistake his options. His direction was very clear. His communication about issues was unequivocal. And I believe, for those of us who had occasion and opportunity to share with him, will escort him with the conviction that he was convinced about whatever he said and believed in. The Honorable Kenya Abel observed, when OJ was in the house, you know it was OJ. 2 o'clock, you get there, you do business, process business, no issues. So we thank God for his life. We thank God for knowing him. We thank God for his purposeful life and service to country. I invite family not to regret, but instead thank you. We thank the family for giving us OJ. You know, in our lives as politicians, many a time we surrender family and they marry up the country. I'm very sure OJ was no exception. I traveled out of the country for almost a week. I left home very early today. My children have not seen me, but they know I'm in the country. They're wondering what became of their father. I'm very sure OJ must have encountered the same challenges. We thank him for this service he rendered to this country. Selfless service. And I know that someday his life will be documented. And I pray, like other speakers before me did observe, his life should never be misrepresented. Some of us are lucky we grew up in a cosmopolitan setup here in the central region. Nobody should stand here and misrepresent the people of Uganda. Nobody should come here and misrepresent the people of Acholi. Nobody should present any group of people. We did not fill any application to be Ugandans. And I'm very sure Uganda is big enough for all of us to fit in, love and serve with commitment and conviction that we are a part of this dear nation. So friends, I would like to comfort you with the conviction that OJ did his part. And therefore, as leaders, must be careful. We should cease, we should stop, we should be careful in speaking a language that has the potential of framing especially ethnic undertones in this country. I listened to the Chief Justice and I was saddened. A Chief Justice of this land, a Chief Justice, standing in front of OJ's portrait and communicate ethnic undertones. That is not leadership. I hope he will reflect on his views about sections of this country. We have a duty to keep this country together. That duty is a serious duty. We have a duty to this country. It's very, very serious.